All right, welcome to the Sae Bae Cast, number 230 with Badman for his second appearance. Badman, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. Just as I said earlier, got back from work about an hour ago. Just sat down and relaxed, talk a little bit, catch up with
Y-
you. So it's
y-
been a while since we've spoken.
It has. It feels like I don't know. It's like every time I get a repeat guest, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But I mean, just having Maudalena on a couple episodes back, it had been 3.5 years since I talked to her on the cast. And that was just bizarre to me because I remember that being like a recent episode I did, like her first appearance. It was just crazy to think how fast time flies. So I think the last time we spoke was summer of 2023. And
Yeah, I had a quick look. It was about then.
now was that I genuinely didn't like I didn't listen back to the conversation. Was that after you had just achieved all pets, or was that right before you had achieved all pets for the first
That
time?
was before. So
That's
I
it.
had a quick listen as well. I think I was about 50 out of 56 at the time. I think I might be
Okay.
getting my numbers wrong, but I was a few off.
And 2023 was the year where you just popped off and you got like every goddamn pet in the game, right? Pretty much. Was that
I
right?
did. I actually Let me go look at my Twitter quickly. 2 seconds. I think I got 22 or 23 pets in a year. Just
Jesus,
scroll down.
man. Two a month. Two a month. What
Yeah,
is that?
22, and that included Bloodhound and Penance Queen.
Oh my God.
And the joke I always make on stream, I was working a full-time job at the same time as well, where I couldn't play this game. So very lucky.
That is okay. So, I'm glad to hear that I had you on pre all pets because now I want to. Obviously, it's been a year plus since you first achieved all pets. At this point, when was the exact date that you actually got it the first time?
So it was the 4th of January 2024.
Okay,
So it
so
was like just at the beginning of a new year, and there's another few things that lined up at the same time as well. So it was like perfect timing when it happened.
nice. Okay, so what was your this is the thing I always like asking because generally speaking, luck balances out, but the problem is we have some pets in this game that take so long to get. And as an Ironman, it's just like extremely demoralizing to go dry on the really like rare pets in the first place, like Corp or like Bloodhound or Penance Queen or just any of those like or Omelet for that matter. But I want to ask, what was the worst pet? Like, what was the unluckiest pet you got, and the luckiest, and then what was the hours like? Because there is like an average amount of hours it takes for all pets, and how many hours did you get lucky on that? If you know the number.
I don't know the number. I know Ginny tracked it at one point for me, but I cannot remember what that number is. I think I went from being unlucky to all of a sudden, just because of the Penance Queen and Bloodhound, I was like in the hundreds of hours lucky just because of those two.
Oh, that's crazy.
So the most dry now in terms of drop rate was Quetzal, funny enough, which was just over 6K,
Oh my God.
which thankfully it's a really fast pet to get. But on the flip side, and this is going to sound really bad, when people look me up on the high scores and they see 95 mil hunter, they're going to think I'm a skiller. I'm not. I just went dry on the pet. Okay. I do not. I don't even like hunter to begin with. So
I just have to say this. I got 3 Ketsons in the first 250 polls I got on this account.
nice.
3. So hearing about 6K, like that doesn't even sound fathomable because it's just like I keep getting the goddamn pet on this account. So like 6,000, Jesus. Wait, but you got to at least. I wasn't actually doing hunter rumors on release, but I heard there was like this Kebit bug where you could just keep getting Kebit tasks repeated. Like, did you take advantage of that?
So I took advantage of getting the Kebit tasks repeatedly. What I didn't do is I think it was 2 days long, there was a way that you could force spawn the item and keep trading it in. I don't know if you used to have to like go to a free to play world, drop them to the floor, or there was some weird thing where you could basically just repeatedly cash in the task and get
Oh my
lots of
God.
sacks. I didn't do that,
Okay.
but I did set up the force Kebit task.
Okay. So how many were you able to take advantage in that situation? Did you get like at least like
Um,
1,000 polls or something, or was it just a matter of 100? I actually don't remember how long that was out for because I wasn't doing it.
um, I I think it was a few hundred. To be
Okay.
honest, I didn't really track it. I just kind of was like, oh, I'm dry of the pet. Oh, another day of logging in and doing hunter rumors. I'm so excited.
What was your block list at that point? Because you already had Chin Pet, obviously. So like, and you already had Irby
Um,
Pet. Like, were you doing those tasks anyway?
I did it one stage when it was worth doing it. It was like nearly a year ago now, or
Hmm.
it might have been a year ago. I don't remember. So I don't have the exact block list anymore.
Okay.
I don't have it written down anywhere. To be honest, I can't remember.
Were you using the master rumor dude or just one of the expert guys?
I think I used the master, and then at one point I did swap over to the expert because they changed the block list like
Hmm.
3 or 4 times, didn't they? So every time they made a change, I had to go alter every single block list because they'd moved things around. I think it was like
So,
at one point the expert could give red salamanders, then all of a sudden it couldn't. So then I had to change it
uh,
over to something else, and it changed a few times.
so I can't imagine you're terribly fond of hunter rumors just because of the dryness and the fact that you're already 99 hunter. I mean, I have to just say I love hunter rumors. It actually became like an S tier skill for me, which is bizarre because hunter was always like way down in the gutter for me. I've just never really enjoyed hunter, but hunter rumors completely changed that. Do you have any fondness now for hunter rumors, or is it just like hell for you because of just how dry you went and that was the only thing you were going for?
I think as a concept, and if I ever go to train hunter when doing it, I think it would be a lot more enjoyable. But it was the fact that I was already 99. I didn't care about no post 99 XP. I just wanted the pet, and I went dry on it. That I wasn't enjoying it. But I've got a new account, so when I go to do rumors on there, I'll probably be able to have a different point of view on it because I'm looking at it at a different angle. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's going to be okay. So I want to talk about the new account, but first let's answer what was the luckiest you got? Was that Bloodhound or I guess like lucky in hours and then also like lucky just rate wise? Like what were the luckiest?
So I got the Whisperer at 73 KC joy.
No way.
Um, and I think Bloodhound was at 435. So I think in terms of hours, that was the biggest.
Okay.
But like just by drop rate, Whisperer.
Damn. But so no
In fact,
one
whole
you never got the 1 KC pet. I always am just so envious of those people that pull 1 KC pets. There's always a few of them in my stream. I always
I
ask that question. Like that's just got to be the best feeling, especially like imagine doing Desert Treasure 2, like just the quest itself and pulling a pet. Like that would be insane.
I saw a few of those on Quest release.
Wild.
It's on one of my alt accounts. Let's say a friend of mine got a Vorkath pet at 1 KC. Go with that.
That is
That was pretty cool.
crazy. Yeah. But you can't get the Vorkath pet during the quest, right? It has to be
No,
post.
no, it was post Quest. It was going for the
Yeah.
assembler.
So presumably you are all pets right at the moment, right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I plan to maintain that every time a new piece of content comes out.
Cool. Okay, so let's hear about this new account that you had made. Is it a hardcore by chance?
So it's currently a hardcore, but I'm not going to be like rinse and repeat and playing hardcore accounts. It's just I thought it would be nice to start off the account as a hardcore and see where it goes. When it dies, it dies.
But you're gonna continue as a normal iron, and you're cool with that.
Yeah, so I'm going to play it as a 45 defense account, which before I used to say I used to play a lot. And then when it gets to a good stage of the account, I'm going to change my current Berserker pure to a main, so I actually have a main to play on if I ever feel the need to.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Yeah, I never personally just enjoy making the hardcores, and if I know I'm gonna continue as an Ironman, I just find no point in playing the hardcore. Like I understand the excitement potentially, but for me personally, it's like it's just gonna be me limiting myself in weird ways and like over just being overprotective about everything, and then I die anyway. And then I was like, why was I being so like safe with everything? But I get it to some extent why people want just that extra excitement of being a hardcore. And plus, it's like it's a little bit of a flex having that little red helmet next to you, seeing how far you can get with it. But yeah, I just think like
Yeah,
some of the limitations just suck. Like one is like right off the bat, you can't use Chaos Altar because you're kind of like trolling if you do that, and you can't do Wilderness Clues sometimes, and there's just elements like that where I'm just not about it. But that's cool.
yeah,
Though.
no, and I've always been against it as well. And to be honest, it's more of just like a side account right now. There's still some things I want to do on my main, but my thought process was I could leave this account at like say sand crabs or motherlode mine or fishing, say something that's slow and AFK, and it's just on the side, so the account's ready once I've finished what I want to do on my main,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I just think that for the very rare occasions, well, I say very rare, the weekends that I stream, I think everyone wants to see me die and they'll think it's funny, so it's
Yeah,
more for them. That
that's
part.
true. That's a good point. Yeah, so see, I always saw you as one of those players that's just like that was like me as well, where we are just one account Andes that just play our one account and just keep progressing it in any way possible. So if new pets come out or whatnot, you would obviously do that. Me, I was a little bit more in the completionist space, not quite a clogger, I wouldn't consider myself, but I definitely was in that space of the sort of mild completionist mindset, and that also entailed skilling. I enjoyed the post 99 skilling to some extent, but man, as soon as I experienced that early game again on big dogs, like it changed my perspective. And I think the biggest perspective change was the fact that quests aren't the worst thing ever. I think that was the thing that always like made me not want to make a new account, was the idea of having to like request and like redo all these like diaries and stuff. But with the quest
100%
helper,
agree.
the quest helper has like solved that to a large extent. Not completely, but just being able to do quest helper and like go full brain dead mode on quests is insanely convenient.
And the amount of quests that we have now compared to, as I say, 10 years ago when I started my All Pet Ironman is just so many quests, so you can get so much XP from just doing quests, and a lot of them are relatively easy, fast. I
Yep.
think they lean less into the item requirements nowadays than they used to as well. So it's more just
Yes.
going and doing the quest rather than, oh, I've got to get 4 different types of dye. Oh, that's got to take forever. I've got to go pick my onions and blah, 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 blah.
Dude, by the way,
Just go and do it.
I don't know if you saw in the blog post, it was like some quality of life little update at the end of like last week's blog post, and it said, well, I don't know if this is even going to be like pertinent to you. I mean, it will be with this new account you're making, but I don't know if you understand how annoying this was. But you know, Aggie, the lady, the witch in Draenor that sells you dye,
Yes, I think I saw that. Is it going to be a right click option?
it's
I
just going to
believe.
be like a different menu. Apparently, it's just like I don't know if there's like a trade option where you can do it, or it's just gonna be quicker. So they're doing something with it. I can't actually remember the exact wording, but something where you don't have to go through like 8 dialogues to continue like confirm what dye you want with a bunch of words. It's just like that process. I swear to God, was so obnoxious. And I did it
It
all
was.
the
Yeah,
time on a
I've
new account.
experienced it a little bit
Yeah,
with this account already. I was just like, oh, why is this like this?
it's so bad. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. Now, on this new account, are you going to be going down the paved route where you just kind of do the Ironman thing where it's like do the questing, get Barrows gloves, go to Barrows, go to Moons, and then get your Infernal, get your Quiver, and then go to raids all day? Or like what is that the move? I mean, that's what most people do. I'm curious if you have any other like route you want to take that sounds fun for you.
I'm still not 100% sure yet. As I say, I do want to keep it a Berserker account, so that will limit some things that I
Oh,
do.
that's
So
true.
there's not
Barrows
really a
wouldn't
need
be.
for
Yeah.
there's not a need for Barrows. I'm staying 45, so I won't need Perilous Moons really. I would like to. I've done an Infernal Cape with a ACB. In fact, my first one was before. I would like to do one with a rune crossbow, but
Ooh.
doing it without a blowpipe, I'm a bit like, do I want to do that? Do I not want to?
Yeah. See, that's where I'm at that stage right now on Squat Cam where like I've been doing some Sarah. I know you've popped in my stream here and there. I don't know if you popped in with Sarah, but like first of all, that grind takes a long ass time when you have a rune crossbow. Like
Oh yeah.
that shit's I'm getting like, I think the boss tracker says I'm getting about 13 kills an hour or something, and that's being like maximum efficient as I can. And it's like,
Yeah. So I
yeah.
never got to experience that because I remember on Badman, I got a 21 KC ACB and 28 KC Sarah Hill. So sorry to rub it in. I massively spooned there. I didn't have to suffer.
That is the actual dream. Yeah. But I imagine, well, I guess the God Sword blade, you can just get that from anywhere. So you probably just went somewhere else to get the blade, right?
I think it took me like a year and a half before I actually finished
Oh, that's
the hill.
fucked.
I'd only like, this account was fairly new. It was like 100 combat. What I was doing, if I remember correctly, is I was doing my spirit mage tasks in the place you get the ecumenical keys. And for fun, I was like taking those keys and being like, oh, I'll do like a 3-kill Sarah trip, see if I get lucky. And in fact, I did just find the pictures of me getting these drops.
Oh, we got to see this. You got to post this.
So I'll send them to you. I do have a different username here. Back on, is that
Okay, let
OS
me open
Buddy
this.
or Conduit?
It looks like, actually, no, it looks like OS Buddy because this is the same pull-out thing that OS Buddy had. It looks like.
Okay, so I remember it was one of those two. So that was November 2015. So yeah, nearly 10 years ago.
Oh my God. Bro, see, 2015. Okay, I just want to put this into perspective. I had barely started playing old school RuneScape 2 months earlier than this. I started like early September of 2015, and I was a main account, complete noob. I mean, total fucking noob. So I would have seen you, and had you actually been able to make that hilt and like wear it, I would have thought you were like the most Giga Chad legend in this game. Like I respected irons so much back then, but I couldn't even fathom making an iron myself because I was so like newbie, and I couldn't even like, it would be just seeing people questing on Ironman back then. I just remember thinking to myself like, hell no, I'm not gonna not use the Grand Exchange. Like that would be just insanity to try to do this shit on my own and like find the items and whatnot. So yeah, you were an absolute Giga Chad.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's impressive. I have this video I published on my YouTube a few years back, and it's just my laptop. What I did was it's just a video of a bunch of screenshots from 2018. And so it's just like Sae Bae in 2018 with a bunch of screenshots. And it's weird because in 2018, when RuneLight's just taking a bunch of fucking screenshots, it doesn't feel like this will ever be relevant. You know what I mean? It's just like you're living in the present. And so it just feels like none of this stuff's ever going to mean anything. But now looking back, I actually just took a look back like a month ago just to browse through it. And I was like, you know what? Some of these screenshots are genuinely nostalgic. And it's been like 7 years now. And I'm like, wow, like even from 2018 until now, this game has changed so much. And just thinking, like looking at this screenshot you just posted of this 2015, that was a much different game.
Oh,
like
completely different.
Completely. Like, I just want to. Let me think what I can ask that's like the most relevant. Like Iron Man back here in 2015. I mean, I remember listening back to Lelador rambles, and to be fair, at the early part of 2015, Zulrah came out, which definitely made some changes to the game. I mean, Zulrah became like just the place to go for everything, for farming, for rune crafting. Were you taking advantage of Zulrah at this point?
I don't know if exactly this point, but I definitely did take advantage of Zulrah. I think I've still got sharks now that came from the original Zulrah drop table, where it was like, what, 100 raw sharks at a time?
Yeah, I think it was something
like
that. Were they raw or were they cooked? I remember you
pretty
also.
Sure they were raw, because now you get 35 cooked manta ray, I believe, because it was supposed to be like, oh, you're not getting all this experience.
That's true. I think they were raw. I just remember how crazy it was. I mean, you used to get like, I'm pretty sure you got like 10 noted 4-dose brews as well, which was like pretty dope if you did Zulrah a little bit earlier before you had like the brews. I think you had just got like the straight up brews back then, not just the, actually, or was it the nests? Wait, how did that work?
I think Vorkath was the nests. I can't remember if Zulrah had nests as
Oh
well.
yeah, you're right. No, I
remember
think
Vorkath having nests.
I think both of them had nests at one short period, and then there was some backlash saying like, why the hell is Zulrah and Vorkath giving nests where we already have Mole as the nest king, and Callisto at the time was dropping like 75 nests. Like, why are we diluting, like Mole, for example? I think that was, if I could remember correctly. But I never actually grinded Zulrah pre nerf to it. And I remember being so upset because on Sae Bae, I had just learned Zulrah like a week after all the drop table changes happened. And but the thing is, what was crazy is I still saw Zulrah as the most busted loot table because I never actually even experienced it. So if I had experienced it, it would have been like a huge blow to me, like, damn. But I just never quite understood just the magnitude of that drop table, like pre-nerf. So doing Zulrah still felt good. Either. Sorry, say that again.
Sorry, I was going to say, I don't think I did either, because didn't it also have, like, was it 100 mage logs, 50 mage logs? I think was also on there.
Yeah, you know what?
I think the magic seeds were twice as often. The dragon hallies were twice as often.
I'm going to look this up, actually. I'm so curious. Okay, so this is the old... Here's the old drop table. I'm gonna actually link you this as well. So you can pull it up on your end. So they made a couple different changes. Let's see this. So it used to be, oh yeah, the 25 black dehyde, 100 noted magic logs.
Common.
10 runite ore. 5 torstals. Fucking A, dude. 5 torstals.
50 teleports as well. I remember dropping a ton of those because I was like, oh, I've got like 30,000 teleports. I won't need these.
Bro.
They drop so many.
I still remember looking back at Say Aloe's old rambles when he was like rank 1 Ironman, and he just had, I kid you not, I mean, he easily had like, I want to say like 20,000 or 50,000 or something like that, like teleport scrolls, just an insane amount. And those teleports shot up so high at one point to like, I think they were like 40 or 50K. I don't actually know how much they are now. They might even be higher than that at this point. I actually really don't know.
Yeah, so I think does it drop 4 at a time now instead of 1? I think when they changed it to 1 after
they changed it to 1 and then they re-changed it to 4, which is not updated. So this is actually an older post because it did get further updated.
Yeah.
In fact, these Zulrah, I'm trying to think what changed. Does Zulrah still drop grapes?
Yeah, that never changed. So I think they changed some quantities. So like the dragon bones went from 30 to 12.
Yeah, okay. I'm seeing that now.
They took mahogany planks out. I think I must have.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was crazy. 50 mahogany planks straight up was crazy. And then yeah, the 10 4-dose brews, I remember that. I never obviously grinded Zulrah, but I just remember that being a drop. 25 Addy bars. Actually, that's still the case. Okay. Yeah, okay. So it wasn't insane. I mean, it was insane for the time period, especially, but like seeing it, I guess, with compared to these drop tables that we experience now, like Muspa and whatnot, not the craziest thing. But back then, I mean, Zulrah was just insane. But you also got to keep in mind, this is for people imagining like that just wasn't playing around here. We were grinding Zulrah in Arims and a Trident, and you know, if you were lucky, you had a T-bow, I guess, but most people were just rocking a blowpipe.
Yeah, so I think I was just blowpiping.
Yeah.
At the time.
Wow. Yeah, times have changed for sure on this. Looking back. Yeah, so Zulrah, so kind of tying it back to how different Ironman was back then. I mean, everything has become so much more streamlined. I remember you're thinking of runecrafting. Runecrafting really was, I mean, as soon as they released Zeah, which was 2016, that's when they
That sounds
dropped.
about right.
Yeah, that's when they dropped like the blood runes, rune crafting, which completely like altered rune crafting. But many people, many irons were still okay grinding lavas because it was just much faster. How did you train your rune crafting? Was it just Zeah?
Yeah, so I believe I got whatever level I was to 77 at astrals because I was like, oh, I can make use of these astrals. That was my mindset at the time.
Mm,
And then I got 77 to 99 all at Zeah.
nice. Yeah, that was very chill. And then trying to think. Oh yeah, crafting. How did you do crafting? Were you a charter hopper?
So I did do some charter hopping, but if memory serves me correct, I think I only bought seaweed, and I think my buckets of sand came from teleporting to Yanil and filling it up.
Oh my
I believe.
god, absolute
I
Giga
don't think I did
Chad.
that strictly to 99. It's a bit. I know I got some crafting from going for 99 prayer because I banked the green dragon hide from Green Dragons,
Oh,
the wilderness.
yep.
That
Were
all
you
used to
were
be
you
there.
void blowpipe out there,
Yeah, void blowpipe cannon.
bro? That
Unfortunately, didn't do any hard clues. I'm sorry, my bad. But
no,
I
I
just had my
get it.
mind
It's
set
just
on maxing at the time.
yeah. Now green dragons was like that was a sick method. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was something kind of charming about that. Just like classic void and blowpipe, just going to town. And that was probably pre-nerfed void as well, where it was just like 10% times 10% randomly. So
Yeah, because it was before well, I can't remember when the void got changed, but it was before Vorkath because I didn't have Vorkath to kill. Didn't
yeah.
exist when I was doing this.
Oh man, that was such an interesting time. And then, pre-raids even. I mean, back then, it's kind of hard to imagine these days what pre-raids RuneScape looked like because raids came out 2017, early 2017, and 2016 was just, I mean, by the end of 2016, Wintertod had like just dropped sort of that just at the end of the summer. And we were at a state where like it was Bandos, it was a Abyssal Tentacle, and a Dragon Defender, and like Prims. I mean, that was just like the look. It was so cool. Arims was the meta, Trident. Like, it was just a different time, man. Like, I actually miss that. I want to kind of talk to you about power creep in general because with Yama coming out and the Delve boss, which I do want to pull up those blogs just so I'm not I'm a bit more informed at the actual like things that are coming out. But Mage these days
bring them up as well.
Mage here. I'll actually link them to you unless you just want to pull them up quickly. But here I'll link them. And like Mage these days is just out of control, where Mage used to be a very weak style. Even Range used to be very weak until Raids came out, gave us Rigor, and then we got a T-Bow, obviously. Blowpipe eventually got nerfed, and then we got Bofa and stuff. But at one point, right before the release of Raids, all we had was Eagle Eye. And
Yeah, I remember that.
it was like Eagle Eye and like if you didn't have a blowpipe, it was seriously MSB or Rune Crossbow or like ACB. It was like we didn't really have many options to train range. It was like if you want high range, you got to go Chin. You got to go Chin the Monkey Madness caves.
Yeah, so I can't remember how I trained range, but what I do remember about those times is when Chambers came out, I was grinding Kree with a ACB, Eagle Eye, Steel Skin, and it took me 3,206 kills for my Armadillo skirt.
Oh
And
my
Rigor came out
god.
around then, so I did all of that with an Eagle Eye, Steel Skin. I'd run out of brews, so I'd cash in my miscellanea or go kill some mole to get more brews, and then rinse and repeat.
Dude, I remember having Eagle Eye for so long. So this is middle of 2018. I had just gotten my Vedion pet right before Wildy Weapons dropped. Wildy Weapons came out, and no Ironman was out in the Wilderness Caves, or like the Rev Caves. So I was out there, and I would very, very rarely see another Ironman, but it was just kind of like free for all. There was no protection at this point. And I remember just grinding revs with Eagle Eye, and I remember coping so hard about that that I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I like Eagle Eye because it drains my prayer less. Like I remember literally coping so hard that I didn't have rigor at that point that I would just like make up things in my head of like, oh yeah, I don't even want rigor because it just drains my prayer too much or something. Like people in my clan were like, how are you grinding like tens of thousands of revs and you don't have rigor? Like go get rigor. Like what are you doing basically? And eventually I did end up soloing my decks at like 300 KC, which was just insane. And then I actually finally understood how much more powerful that prayer is. I don't think I quite could like just the numbers wise going from 15 to 23. I didn't really understand how big of an effect that was, but it's pretty massive.
No, but again, it's one of those things where like you just kind of play the game how you want to play it, and some of these things you won't realize until you eventually do it. Like people will get in their first Infernal Cape. It's it's this excuse, that excuse, but when they actually sit down, do it, and finally get it, they then realize, oh, this is why everyone was telling me to just go do it.
Yep.
I can do it.
Yeah, that I'm still seeing that even these days. 2025 it was something that came into my stream last night and just made a joke about, you know, trying to get an Infernal Cape purchased or something. I'm like, dude, you've been playing, and I knew this viewer, they've been playing this game for years. They almost have a maxed account. And I'm like, literally all the Infernal Cape is just accepting that you're going to be a clown in the Inferno for a little bit. You're going to fail. You're going to look stupid. But who cares? Like, just jump in there and just start getting comfortable with it. Like, you're going to get comfortable. This game is, like, there's a lot of aspects of this game that are quite daunting if you don't have much experience and you haven't put yourself out there much. But as soon as you really start grinding something, you can do it. You might not have the best time of your life, but, like, you just got to put in the time and you'll get it. It's just RuneScape. It's just clicking. Like, that's all it is.
But also, I just think that humans are like that as well. Because I'm like it with chambers, like team chambers. I've never really done team chambers, and where I'm doing the clogging now, everyone's like, "Oh, come do team CMs." I'm like, no, I'll take the goldfish for a walk. I can't today.
Yeah. No, there definitely is this element of comfort that we all kind of get into. And especially if you're playing old school RuneScape, you're probably a personality type that likes familiarity and comfort. I mean, yeah. I was even painting this argument like a week ago or something, just the fact that like old school RuneScape, even though there's so many players these days that would discount the nostalgia effect of this game, like, you know, I think there still is so much nostalgia being driven to like our brains to like play this game, because there is this element of like familiarity and comfort of logging in and knowing the game kind of inside and out. And that is nostalgia in a way. Like, obviously the game has drastically changed in so many ways, but there's still the foundation. And so I think just so many players start doing certain pieces of content and then just stick with it. Like, that becomes their little comfort zone of like, okay, I don't want to really change how I'm doing things because things are working. So, and that's also just a human thing in general.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, nostalgia sells, doesn't it? So not just with RuneScape, but anything kind of nostalgic. Yep. Remaking movies that people have like a familiarity with. So it's like, oh, I'll go see it. Or, oh, 25 years later, we're doing a sequel to this movie. Oh, I remember that movie. Let me go watch it.
I mean, just look at Pokemon, dude. You could literally just brand Pokemon on anything, and it's $1 billion thing.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I think they got the trading card game now, haven't they? I've not touched it myself, but people were head over heels for it.
Yep. Let's check out the Yama Master of Packs, which is...
Yes. I'm looking forward to this one so much.
Oh, yeah. This is
cannot wait.
The new duo boss. I mean, you can still solo it, but it's going to be much more doable. Watch the full 2.5-hour episode by subscribing below on either YouTube, Patreon, or Spotify. Badman and I discuss the upcoming duo boss, its rewards, the delve boss and its rewards, power creep, collection logging, what to do about the shadow, sailing, and much more. Huge shout out to the 30 plus new Spotify subscribers whose names are not currently listed on the title screen. As a side note, these exclusive episodes are just periodic, agreed upon by my guests before recording, will only ever cost just $2, and will never include future JMod episodes. Your monthly pledges really do allow me to pursue my dream of content creation. And I really, truly couldn't do it without your guys' love and support. Thank you very much. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode.